Praise the Lord, everyone. Welcome to the Saturday Morning Huddle. I'm your host, Walter Strong. If you're new here to this live stream, for the first time, I want to encourage you to find your passion this day, unlock your potential, and discover God's purpose for your life during this live stream broadcast. This morning, we are going to have our first 2020 year in review as we look back over this year and look back over this year of our lives. We realize it's been a very challenging, very difficult, and dark year. But despite all what we have all gone through, the simple fact that we are still breathing today and the sun is shining upon our face and not our grave is truly a blessing from the Lord. And that's the reason why we wanted to come on this morning and not so much in focus on the more known things we've known, what we've gone throughout this year, but the things that unfortunately we don't highlight because we are unfortunately focused so much on what we hear on the news and we hear and see what's going on around us. Yes, it's 2020 started out this year with, unfortunately, with the passing of Kobe Bryant and Gianna Bryant and those that were lost in the helicopter crash, and then to have our economy and our country, sports, entertainment, education, financial, this entire world be shut down through this pandemic. Our prayers and our words of comfort and peace are with the families that have lost loved ones. I think the last time I saw, there was like over 320,000 people that have lost their lives this year. I think the rate that we're going per day is a little over 3,000. Millions of people still out of work, people having to be able to go on food bank lines to get food for family. This has been a very tough holiday season for individuals looking across the table and not seeing their loved one there, either because they are in a nursing home still or in a hospital or overseas serving our country. So I realize it's been a very challenging, tough year. You say, how, Brother Strong, how can we do a year in review? But I believe there are some things that throughout what we've gone through, there have been some highlights in our lives that we do need to focus on so that I believe they become building blocks to go forth in 2020. If we begin to see it from that perspective, then it gives us the hope and the light to know that we're going to continue on and to move forward. I like the analogy of how pressure is used on pipes and diamonds. When pressure goes through pipes, a certain amount of pressure has to go through pipes so that way it can accomplish the goal and the objective. However, if that pressure is too much and if it is applied too intensely, it can cause those pipes to burst. And so unfortunately, there have been some times in our life where we just felt like the pressure was just too intense and we felt like we were bursting. But yet God was still in control. He knew what we were doing because he wanted the pressure to be so intense so that he could make us into diamonds of high quality and value, so that when we go through the process of the pressure being applied and shaping and molding and transforming us, when people look and see our lives and what we've been through, and we don't smell like what we've been through, we don't look like what we've been through, but they see the high quality of value of character, integrity, and the skills and abilities that we have to offer, we become individuals who are able to provide value to others in our lives. And so today we just want to talk about 5 things throughout this year that you and I have been able to benefit from through the pressure being so intense this year. And the first thing that I put on the list this morning is technology. Technology in the midst of this pandemic has been something that has come to the forefront of all of our lives, when you look at the technology of where Zoom came into play in our education systems for our teachers and our students, Zoom playing an integral role in businesses and individuals having to work from home like you and I, and being able to communicate with employers and fellow employees. And if we are an entrepreneur, and communicating with your staff as an entrepreneur, Zoom became a very important tool of technology that we've all had to embrace and use in our daily lives now. And so it's become something that's become very integral, that I believe now in 2021 that we will continue to use. And so I know for myself, and being involved in using Zoom and doing and learning Zoom to the point where I can be able to join with others and put a group together. And we call ourselves the New Life Geek Squad, which is a part of our church, New Life Christian Center. We get together every Wednesday afternoon about 1 p.m. and we teach ourselves Zoom, and we teach others about Zoom. And not only that, but technology from the standpoint of audio and video, and being able to have the right type of setup, so that way when you do broadcast on something like Zoom, it comes across where it's a quality presentation, where individuals are willing to watch and to listen, and to see how not only Zoom, but even StreamYards. And as I talk about these different things, I want you to understand none of these things are our sponsored brand. I'm not, promoting them for any type of monetary purpose or gain, but just wanting to highlight the benefit of how technology has helped us as individuals. And now come StreamYards, because Zoom at one point would allow you to do video conferencing and presentation, and maybe a live stream through broadcasting like YouTube or Facebook. The only challenge, though, is you're only permitted to only live stream through one particular social media platform. Live StreamYard comes on the scene now, and now it gives us the ability to live stream not only on YouTube, but Facebook and Periscope, Twitter, LinkedIn, a Facebook group. So it gives us a broader reach of being able to watch and to engage with our listeners together. And so these are just some of the tools that we've been able to benefit from through technology, even seeing it in terms of how we interact with our doctors and our medical professions through telemedicine, and through being able to be involved in with school and our young people through online distance learning, through whether if it's through Zoom or Google Meet. So all these different video platforms are now starting to pop up, and technology, it's helping us to enhance and improve our lives. And so if you're watching me on YouTube this morning, because we're exclusively broadcasting through live StreamYards through YouTube this morning, just drop down in the comments section and let me know where you're watching me from this morning, and just let me know what city and state you're at. If you're in a different time zone, let me just put this on the comment section part here. Perfect. So that way we don't want to miss any comments. Also, if you're watching me on live stream YouTube, also share this live stream on your YouTube to your favorite social media channel like Facebook or Twitter, so we can get this huddle communicated and shared to other people. A second thing that I've been able to benefit and improve this year through 2020 is through electronics. Electronics has played a very integral role. Different types of electronic devices, from audio to video, through using the iPhone, for example. I've this last 2 years, I've spent more time getting to be able to learn and to use my iPhone more than I have in the past. I recently upgraded from my iPhone XR to an iPhone 11 because I got more into shooting videos on YouTube and at seeing the better quality of the widescreen videos, being able to not only have iPhones and being able to make videos, but the quality of type of microphones you use. I particularly use an ATR 21 microphone, but there's some other better quality microphones. Another type of good quality of electronics that I've really come to really embrace is webcams. When, of course, when you're starting out, you may not have that big budget to be able to get the expensive Canon cameras or Panasonic cameras of HD and blurry vision type cameras. So you got to start where you're at. And so some of the good high quality webcams that I've been able to use. Sure, Logitech is on one of the top of the list of the webcams, like the C920 and the 922. But however, we've also seen in this pandemic how there's been such a high demand for webcams, and you're waiting for weeks and weeks for a good quality webcam, especially when you're doing multi-stream live streaming. But the one that I really came across, which I feel is a winner, is the Speedo HD webcam, wide angle webcam. And I found that, it was very affordable. I think last time I checked on Amazon, it was going somewhere between $35 to about $55, whereas the Logitechs, because of the such high demand for them, they've gone up in price, where at one time they were somewhere between 60 to 70 bucks. A C922 Logitech webcam can cost you anywhere close to anywhere $90 to $120. And so when I came across the Speedo webcam and I saw the high quality that it was giving me to be able to do my live streams, rather if it's being through live streams through YouTube, through Facebook Live, or doing something else in terms of being even on Zoom, the quality has just been outstanding. And so what I will do is as I'm mentioning these different things, from technology to different electronic devices that I have been using, I'll put them in the description section as a link. Again, there's no type of monetary incentive here for me to gain from it. Just want to share, and that you can use in the description, and maybe help for you to improve in your own life. And so another thing, going back to technology, that I've really been able to benefit through is through graphic designing, like Canva. Let me see if I can share my screen with Canva and just kind of give you some ideas of how Canva has really been a great tool. Sure, you have Photoshop, and sure, you have Adobe, things like that. Let me just share my screen here. Bear with me 1 second. Click here. All right. So if you see it on my screen here, I have here Canva, and you see some of my YouTube thumbnails. You see, some photos that I've been able to make. Just take some regular photos from my iPhone, upload them to Canva, and be able to design a picture, change the background. It's interesting. And as I got into doing YouTube and being able the process of learning to create thumbnails and taking pictures, it was a challenge for me. But like anything, you have to practice and begin to use. And then I began to understand how you can do certain nice tricks like background removal, and then create your own black background of your picture, and have something like this. And so whether if that's on a thumbnail, whether if that's going to be on a flyer, whether if that's going to be on a project that you're making, Canva has been able to give me some high quality things so that way I can better further advance my brand. Another thing that I'm working on in 2021, which you're hearing first here, is I'm working on my second book, um, called Discovering Your Life's Purpose. And so I've been able to go on Canva and be able to make a mock book cover just so that way I can get the vision in front of me. Sometimes, what God is speaking to you and he's asking you to write down, as a vision for your life. Sometimes not only if you write it down, but if you put it before you visual, Canva gives you the ability where you can create your own type of book cover or flyer or poster, so that way you can keep the vision. And so as you are writing, your next book, you every now and then you take a look at the book cover and just to inspire yourself and say, is this going to be the final outcome of what the book cover is going to look like? Probably not, but just to continue to just give you the inspiration to keep writing each chapter, each page of the book, so that when it's finished, you're not scrambling saying, okay, now what do I want the book cover to look like? You've been kind of going throughout the period, and you're being able to see what the book cover is going to be. And so Canva have, a free version, and they also have a paid version. But I just wanted to also share that with you. Let me just kind of stop sharing the screen. Okay, perfect. We're back. And so technology, electronics, these are just some of the things that in 2020, that we've been able to benefit from. And sometimes when you go through a crisis, sometimes when you go through adversity, crisis and adversity is not meant to destroy us, but it provides an opportunity for growth for us. It provides an opportunity for change. And you've heard me say that so many times throughout this year through different YouTube videos that we've created here on the channel, because God truly wants me and you to find our passion. God truly wants me and you to unlock our potential. He wants me and you to discover our life's purpose. And so these are just some of the things that God is allowing me and you to look back over 2020 and how it's helping to improve your life and my life. Hey, if you're getting value, out of this live stream broadcast, please drop down in the comments section and just share, hashtag getting value from, hashtag getting value from, this live stream. Also, let me know where you're watching me from, on this YouTube channel this morning, because we just wanted, and we're also on Periscope as well. So if you are seeing me on Twitter, let me know on Twitter where you're watching me from, and hashtag you're getting value. So we talked about technology, we talked about electronics. I think a third thing that we've been able to benefit from is also online training. Doing a lot of online training. That online training could either come from watching YouTube videos. It could come from webinar courses that you may have been watching on through social media, because you see a lot of different advertising on YouTube and Facebook, like masterclass. You'll see Stephen Curry do a masterclass on helping you on the skills and the abilities of learning how to be a basketball player. You see master classes on communication and presentation, maybe by Robin what's her name? Robin Roberts from Good Morning America. You'll see a master class from I forget the guy's name. I think his last name was Voss, on negotiating. So you see a lot of webinar courses being offered through what's called master classes. And these are different types of online training courses that if we take advantage of, it can help to improve and better our lives. Though we are still socially distancing, and though we are 6 feet apart, and though we are wearing masks, and though there may not be any in-person learning courses and classes being offered in schools and different places, online learning and training has become a very integral part in helping me and you to improve our lives. One of the things I've been taking advantage of is LinkedIn Learning. If you have a LinkedIn account, a LinkedIn profile, and I think it's anywhere between 25 to about $30, you can, for a month, take various different um, online learning courses in the area of expertise of wherever you're interested in, whether if that's accounting or marketing. For me, I was taking a lot of executive coaching online training classes and just learning how to be a better communicator and being able to be a better coach to help people to improve the quality of their lives. Also doing a lot of online marketing. And so despite all what we've been going through and despite all the challenges we've may been facing, 2020 in the year in review has provided us some great opportunities to improve in our lives through online training. And so as you look back now, as we come close to closing out this year, look at your life and how have you been able to benefit through technology, and how have you been able to benefit through electronics, through audio and video and microphones, and through webcams, and through maybe mixing boards, and then also through online training. All of these things are this areas that are helping me and you to improve our skills and our abilities to, as we share so many times that, the word of God says in Proverbs 18:16, that a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. And that's not gender specific. That's man or woman, male or female. God is giving me and you a gift that we need to identify, we need to understand, and we need to know how to release. Because when we learn to release it with character and integrity and through a lot of the skill development and ability, then it's going to provide us the opportunity before great men. And the great men, you read in some translations of the Bible, it talks about not being before vainless and worthless individuals, but being before individuals that see the value in the gift that you have, and they see the importance of how you can help bring greatness out of them. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to be before kings and potentates and presidents and mayors and governors. And we may have that opportunity, we may not, but there are other people who are just more important that our gift needs to be brought before. And that bringing before individuals may be in person, or it may be through, as we said, through doing StreamYards, doing a live stream through YouTube. YouTube has become a very big platform for us to be able to reach people from different states, from different cities, from different countries. Whereas in person, we may have only been able to meet only so many people. Now, through being able to having the platform of YouTube, our gifts are able to be put and released before great men and women throughout this country and throughout this world. And so we've talked about technology, we've talked about electronics, we talked about online training, and then there's networking. And again, we've seen the importance of why we need to socially distance and be 6 feet apart. Some people say even 10 to 12 feet apart, because we need to stop the spread of this virus, and we need to stop the spread of this disease and spreading throughout our towns and our cities. And so it doesn't gives us the opportunity to network and be in person at conference and events like we used to in the past. Fans can't attend sporting arenas to cheer on their favorite football team or basketball team. They have to again watch it through technology, through Zoom or through some other video conferencing device that maybe the NBA may be using. We've watched even the WWE create their version of the Thunderdome through using, again, technology to be able to allow fans to see wrestling events online and have their own version of the Thunderdome. We saw it again in the bubble through the NBA, in the NBA playoffs and the NBA finals, and watching people being able to watch online. And so these different things have allowed us not only to be able to benefit through technology, but to be able to network with one another. Just for myself, some of the advantages of networking that I've been able to take advantage of has been, for example, through a group of individuals. Sorry, they give me 1 second. A group of individuals from the WDOM Men of Valor ministry up out in Phoenix, Arizona. Brother Minister William Sorrells and the rest of that ministry team, and it's allowed me to be able to network with them through, again, through technology, through also being able to connect with some of the guests that have been on the huddle throughout this year, like Brother Raymond Mathis and my cousin and author Kenny R. Hampton of the Underdog Mentality. 2020 has been a year of being able to network with different individuals, whereas before, because of this pandemic, what would have happened if we were not utilizing these different types of technology and software devices? What would have happened if we were not using different forms of electronics and being a part of, different people's shows like BS3 Radio and Ben Sutter the third. So this year has been a year of review of not just heartache and pain, but a year of networking with other individuals. And so I want you to just kind of look back on this year on how you've been able to network with individuals in your lives. Hey, if you're getting value out of this live stream broadcast and discussion that we're doing in the year of 2020 review, and just looking at the 5 things that have helped you improve in your life, drop down in the comment section and just put hashtag adding value to my life, adding value to my life. And also, if you haven't subscribed to this channel, those of you who will be watching on the replay and you want to be able to find your passion, unlock your potential, and discover God's purpose for your life, then I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel and click the alert notification button so you're alerted when we have a Saturday morning huddle and we post some content each week of a video that will help you accomplish those things. So we've talked about technology, we've talked about electronics, we've talked about online training, we've talked about networking. And then I would say the 5th thing that 2020 in year in review has really helped us to be able to unearth and uncover and really take advantage of and tap in is being more creative. Being more creative. Now, for myself, for the last 5 to 10 years, working in the type of profession that I've done in risk management, I spent a lot of time doing and being more very analytical and looking at things with a more critical eye and paying attention to detail, working in a fast-paced environment, being able to multitask. It kind of helps you. It causes you to, on one side of your brain, to be more analytical and a critical thinker. But what I've also found throughout this year, 2020, has helped me to be able to tap more into being more creative. I shared some things with you on some of the things that I was doing through Canva and being able to create different things through working on, my next book and working on creating YouTube thumbnails and being able to also create videos and do live streams on YouTube. It's challenging me to be more creative. And as you look at your own life, I believe the Lord wants you to be more creative in your own life. That writing that you used to do when you were young, when you used to journal a lot and you used to write little short stories, and you've been getting that itch to go back to do that, then I believe this is the time as we prepare to go into 2021 for you to be able to pick that back up. The drawing and the artistry, and the painting that you enjoy doing, maybe when you were young and you felt like that this was a way of you to being able to get away from the world and to be able to unplug from all the nonsense and the drama, and you felt the itch to get back into to drawing, into painting, and freestyling. This is the year of 2021 for you to tap into that creative side and getting in front of the camera, getting in front of a video and creating videos because you feel God is giving you a message to be able to commit to communicate, not just on social media like a Facebook or through Instagram, but maybe getting on YouTube and having the courage to get in front of the camera, and begin to find your voice, what type of voice that you have that will add value to someone else's life, add value to another viewer, to encourage them. And so 2020 has been a year of us being able to learn to be more creative, to tap more into the creative side of ourselves, to tap into the creative side of our brain that each and every one of us. So again, a man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. And if you begin to find out what that gift is, as you begin to find your passion and align your passion with the skills and abilities that you have, that creative side, it's going to provide opportunities and bring you before people who would want to benefit and partake of it. And so I want to encourage you this day to look at these 5 things and how you've been able to improve in your life, as an entrepreneur, improve in your life as a husband or a wife, improve in your life as a father or a mother, and being more instrumental in your children's lives and helping them through online learning with education. This, I think, we need to have a level of balance. Though we look at 2020 and we see all of the, unfortunately, the dark and the difficult things that have happened in our lives, we have to balance it out with some of the positive things, the good things that we've been able to benefit from in our lives. And we have to do that even with our young people, with our children. We see how this pandemic, unfortunately, has robbed them of opportunities of being able to have, high school senior proms, and rob them of unfortunately, some of them of graduation, and being able to participate with sports and have spring and winter sports, being able to enjoy birthdays, and celebrations with family and friends. And so technology has provided us to be able to do a Zoom birthday party. Technology has allowed us to be able to do a Zoom get together with family and maybe have dinner at the table. And though we may all be in our own different homes, but having a laptop where we can have a webcam and have dinner at the table and celebrate a Thanksgiving, or celebrate doing an important holiday, because of tradition and culture. Technology and these different electronic devices has provided us that opportunity, and we need to highlight these things. We need to highlight them. We need to take advantage of them and build upon them in our lives. And so we just wanted to come on this morning and share with you the year of 2020. Yes, we know what's going on in the news. We see what's happening with this pandemic, and now we see the arrival of the vaccines now starting to go forth, and so it's providing some light and some hope. But though, like you and me, you may be waiting until anywhere between June to September before we even get vaccinated. And there's the concern also about being educated about this vaccination. And so that's going to be a waiting process. But while we're waiting, don't overlook these things such as technology. Don't overlook these things to look at the different electronic things from video to audio that we can take advantage of to be able to improve and build on in 2021. Online training, networking, create the creativity that we have. Let's build upon these things. Build upon these things in our lives. Build upon these things in the household of our family. Build upon these things so that instead of us being employees working for someone else to have an income that we can bring in, let's build upon these things that we can become an entrepreneur, though we may still have a full-time job, and start developing streams of income. I believe 2021 should be a year of where we're developing streams of income, not just from one source of income from a paycheck, but allowing God, giving me and you the wisdom and the knowledge and understanding and discernment to have streams of income that we can bring in through 2021. So that way, in the event of unfortunately, if this continues to be a more challenging year and the economy continues to be slow in recovering, now we have some additional streams of income in our lives from these 5 things that we've improved upon to use in our lives. And there's so much we can do with these 5 things. Like, for example, networking. Networking opens the door to email marketing. If you understand anything about email marketing and you have the email list of friends and family and fellow people that people trust you to have their emails, and that you will use it in the right way. Email marketing provides you now the opportunity, if you are now working on a project, or if you're getting ready to promote your next book that you're looking to release. Now email marketing gives you the tool to be able to, it gives you the ability to now to be able to, without spamming people, to communicate and say, hey, look, I got something coming up real soon, and I want you to be able to partake of it and not miss it. So I'm sending this information to put you on notice, to let you know when this is dropping and when this is going to release. And through networking, through technology, through emailing, these things provide us an opportunity to be able to improve and do some good things in our lives in 2021 for ourselves and others. And so I think the time of us kind of pushing away from technology has now passed. We need to start embracing technology. I'm a real big advocate for churches to embrace technology, because the truth of the matter is, the mega church that we knew of the last 5 to 10 years, they're not going to be able to have the members of 500 to 1,000 people being on a Sunday morning service gathered together. That may take a while. And so, yeah, you may have been able to have 2 or 3 services, but that may take a while now, where you may now have to have an online congregation through Zoom, through a live streaming service through StreamYards, and being able to live stream your Bible studies, live stream your prayer meeting through having Zoom live streams, or just having a Zoom prayer meeting, so that your members can watch service online while there's so many people in the church, and while the rest of them are watching online. The church has to embrace technology, and we need to get more in touch in terms of what type of internet connection and speed that we have, and make sure that just because we see these commercials from these different cell phone providers and internet providers like 4G and 5G, we need to know what type of internet speed and connection that we have, so that way when we are broadcasting these things, it's not coming across choppy, and the internet connection is not dropping, and it's causing a disconnect, or people are losing connection to our services that are being broadcasted in live stream on a Sunday morning service, or on a Wednesday night prayer meeting. These are things that we need to be able to invest in and embrace now. We got to embrace it now in 2020. We got to embrace it now, because well, we unfortunately are not at a place now where we can go back and have our churches packed and filled, because the vaccine is just now getting out. And so we just can't return to the sense of normalcy. But we see it in the business world, we see it in the sports world, of how these different organizations are trying to move forward, and they're utilizing and they're embracing technology. And so as churches, we need to embrace technology. If we want people in the church to find their passion, unlock their potential, and discover God's purpose for their life, if we want them to do these things, we have to embrace technology. We need to better use the different electronic devices, audio and video, that we have, so that way we can be able to get the gospel message out, and get the message of Christ out during this season where people need hope. It's just like in the old days when the church did not want to embrace drums, and they embraced the organ, but they didn't want to embrace drums. They didn't want to embrace musical instruments. And then they slowly began to embrace drums, but then they were like, okay, we're just going to listen to contemporary classical hymns of the church. We don't want to get into contemporary today's gospel like Kirk Franklin and Stomp. But the church has evolved, and the church has grown, and they begin to embrace that. And I believe this is the season now we need to embrace technology. And there's people in the body of Christ that God has placed to help churches to be able to grow their media ministry, online media ministry, so that they can serve their congregation, so that they can serve their community, they can serve and get the message of the gospel throughout this country. It's not about individuals like, and I love Elevation Worship and Pastor Stephen Furtick or Bishop T.D. Jakes. It's not just about them anymore. It's about your local congregation in your church, looking at this year of 2020 and seeing how you've been able to embrace technology, how you've been able to use different tools of electronics to be able to get your ministry forward. Well, people unfortunately now are not giving in the way that they gave and they gave at the offering line, because people can't come to church. Now may be the time where you may have to use something like a Cash App or some other type of app that will allow you to do online giving through your mobile iPhone or smartphone device. We have to be able to embrace technology. We got to embrace it, because we need to do these things. And you say, well, I need help, Brother Strong, on being able to do it. That's where the online training comes in. That's where the online training comes in. That's where it comes to being able to get online and learn about these things. Learning about PayPal, learning about Cash App, and learning about other things that provide online giving. So your individuals that can at this time have to watch service online through Zoom or through some other video conferencing, they have a way to be able to online give into the ministry, so that the church and the ministry can continue to go forward in their tithes and offering. We're seeing the numbers in our society where with New Year's coming up, with the New Year's celebration, for some of us, we may not be able to have a New Year's celebration in our houses of worship doing watch night service. We may have to go through Zoom and do a watch night service on Zoom, and be able to celebrate and bring in the new year safely, so that we are not putting people at risk. We're not putting congregations and members at risk. I know I'm ranting right now. Forgive me. But it needs to be said. It needs to be said. So those of you watching the replay that are hearing this rant, please hear my heart. We want to be able to protect people. We want to be able to protect people this year. You want to have a New Year's celebration with your friends? Then again, we talked about Zoom, and we've talked about Google Meet, and we talked about, if you want to live stream, like using StreamYards, so that way people can be safe, bring in the year and celebrate and enjoy themselves, and using a good quality webcam like a Logitech or Speedo. Again, we'll put all of these things in the links. Maybe you want to do some things and do some graphic designing. We talked about Canva, and networking with other individuals. Again, tapping in the creative side of us as men and women, so that we can have a safe New Year's. And I believe if we do that, 2020, which I believe is the year of access and accountability. 2021 is the year of access and accountability. Yes, I understand at 18 you have the access to be able to get behind a wheel and to drive. Some places are 16. At 18, you're able to join the military. You have access to serve you. But at 21, you have complete full access, because you're no longer a minor, but you are now an adult. You are supposed to have a level of maturity that you can be accountable for things being placed in your hands to be accountable with, so that you won't mismanage it and you won't misuse it, but use it in the way that you are intended to help you and others. So 2021 is going to be a year of access and accountability, and you're going to hear more about that. And so, again, if you're getting great value out of this discussion and this rant I just had on technology, just let me know in the comment section your thoughts on how technology is helping you to move forward in 2021. What is the one thing that you're doing with technology? That's going to be the question of the day, as we bring this live stream to a close. What is the one thing that technology is helping you to improve and become better in your life, that you developed and begun in 2020, and that you're now doing 2021? Drop down in the comment section and share your answer to this question. Also, if this live stream huddle is added value to your life, I want to encourage you to click the like button, share this live stream on your favorite social media channel. Those of you who will be watching the replay, I appreciate you watching it and sharing it. And as we bring this to a close, we always encourage you to let you know that many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that will prevail. As we bring this year to a close, allow God's purpose to prevail in your life. As we bring this year to a close, and God willing, he protects us from danger seen and unseen, as we prepare to bring in this new year of 2021 of access and accountability. Let God's purpose prevail in your life. So thank you for being a part of the huddle this morning. And I pray that you continue to have a safe and happy Merry Christmas, happy holidays, happy Kwanzaa, and just however you're celebrating the holidays. Continue to stay safe, continue to wear a mask, continue to social distance, continue to stay 6 feet apart, so that way in 2021, these 5 things that we've talked about, or the 5 things that have become an importance to you, will help you to build and have a better and prosperous life in 2021. God bless, and we will see you in 2021.